Andrew, thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Um, I just wanted to thank everybody for jumping in and attending this session related to FlyPaper Daily. Like we were talking about yesterday during the keynote, this is a new technology or a new application based on some technologies that we've been working on that we're very excited about. So I'm not going to waste any time with introductions on that part and just get started. So our agenda, the items that we're going to cover today in this talk are, I'm going to give a quick introduction to Daily, just a little bit slightly deeper dive into the Daily tool than we went into yesterday. Also, the next you're going to hear from, we have some customer stories. We unfortunately, they were not able to actually attend this live because I'm sure, as we all know, the job site demands are real, and you don't oftentimes have the flexibility to jump into things like this. So they were really cool in joining me on another session earlier this week, and I was able to kind of record just their initial thoughts on their experience with using Daily over the last year. Then after that, I am going to go into a deeper demo and actually show you the FlyPaper Daily application. And we're going to actually set up, I just actually set up a new project that's new for this demo. We're going to actually create work logs, we're going to tag things, and we're going to construct. And I'm going to just basically show you how simple it is to get going with FlyPaper Daily. After that, we're going to talk about the roadmap for a little bit, just kind of talk about where we see things in the near term in terms of the direction that we have planned for FlyPaper Daily. And then as with Nick's Sherlock session yesterday, we're going to open things up for question and answer. All right, so a quick introduction to Daily. Why do we make FlyPaper Daily? Well, it's, like we were saying in the keynote yesterday, Nick and I, we spent quite some time really crafting the ideas surrounding what would be the technologies that we would use to create a platform that would fuel application ideas moving forward for FlyPaper. And there was a lot of whiteboarding, there's a lot of discussions, a lot of brainstorming with stakeholders and just people who are leaders in enterprise business and business systems to really make sure that we understood those complexities and those needs even from the management of such a thing. Of course, eventually we would have to come to a point where we said, okay, well, what's going to be our first application? And we had a couple ideas. There were certainly some suggestions, but we felt compelled, to make something like FlyPaper, like the Daily application. We wanted to make sure that this application was, of course, able to run on, all device types. This is a big thing for us. We really believe in the philosophy surrounding a completely cross-platform native application that can run anywhere. And we needed to address things like scalability. How many users, how many people on a job site could the application handle at one time? Could there be many job sites? Could a company manage several projects at one time across the country, across multiple countries, all this type of stuff? When we decided on Daily, we knew, especially with working with Bart and Mallow, that there were some deficiencies and some shortcomings that they were finding in some of the daily reporting tools that they were using. And so this sort of like piqued our curiosity and got us into the Daily game. One of the reasons why it kind of piqued our curiosity is because one of the things that we had really seen is we felt like some of the daily tools that were out there weren't really, didn't really have much of an open philosophy. And what do we mean by that? It's really about having full transparency between everyone. We don't really believe in this idea that one person shouldn't be able to see another person's information, especially when we're talking about something related to collaborating with other human beings in a day. So this was something that we really wanted this is something we really wanted to spend time on, and this was something that we felt was very crucial to a successful daily application. One of the big things about having full transparency is it encourages open communication while working. And, we feel like with a lot of applications in other verticals and other spaces, even outside of the construction industry, there has been a very large trend in this for more than a decade. Things like social media, of course, have opened this door up. The idea of, and a number of collaboration tools in other businesses have already kind of pushed themselves to this open, fully transparent, communicative platform. And it just seemed like a lot of the construction platforms out there weren't doing that. So we really feel like it's important because it really just means better job site collaboration. If you're waiting till the end of the day to see a report, and that is the first time that you're going to see that a subcontractor, hadn't finished a task or whatever the situation is, I mean, that's now a full day that has gone by that could have been seen by other workers on site. And what we've noticed is that by opening things up and having the ability to generate a report at any time in the day, and for anyone to be able to generate that report at any point in that day, and the ability to actually see what's going on with other subcontractors throughout the day has been very, very compelling. And there was definitely people that had doubts about that. And as it turns out, it's been very successful. Another big thing that we wanted to tackle with creating this daily tool is the ease of use for the less technical. And that has been a major driving philosophy for our company since the beginning. Nick and I will elaborate that a little bit when we talk about, what is our ethos at FlyPaper. And one of the biggest things is the ease of use for the less technical. There are just a lot of people that just really don't have a natural knack for it. And there's many that do, but there's many that don't. There's many people that are more comfortable with one platform or device type over another. That's another big thing. So we spent, an equal amount of time on our mobile capabilities. We have our web capabilities. We have people that completely manage their projects entirely from an iPad or completely from an iPhone. And we've been able to achieve that not just from like this technical perspective, but really a lot of it is just about the way we approach creating features. We really do think about how many clicks does it take to get somewhere and how many knobs really exist to make something work the way you want. There's so much discussion related to this. So this is very much a part of our daily application. Another big thing is we wanted to make sure that in this continuation of keeping things easy for the less technical, is that we also wanted to be super easy to just organize your work logs, your notes, even group those notes and group those work logs by things as easy as tags. You'll hear from two of our customers here soon about how they've leveraged tagging a lot to really help slice up the bits of information throughout the day and how that's actually visualized in the daily, weekly, and monthly reports that they generate through the application. You'll see what I mean in a little while. So that part is really offered quite a bit of flexibility because different projects might tag things differently. You'll hear about even on the Hudson site project, which Zach Pung will talk about in a little while. We'll talk about the way that they leverage tags for trades, whereas in Jason Mead's project, they're leveraging tags to track things like the minority workers that are actually working on our project because they're accountable to the county to report a certain number of individuals on a job site that fall into certain minority demographics. And these two completely different use cases for tags, yet they're both finding great value there. One of the biggest things is how we play well with others, as I like to call it, and that's our connections concept. We realize that you have subcontractors that have other main level applications that they're using at their company. Maybe they're using Procore. Maybe they're using BIM 360, for instance, to actually manage the majority of their job tasks, RFIs, submittals, issue tracking, things like that. And we're not really trying to say that our platform is something that's going to be like a BIM 360 or Procore, where we're really going to create and reinvent every single aspect of the life cycle that someone has on the job. We are really more focused on trying to identify those gaps that exist, or identify the places where things are overly complex, and try to find something meaningful to make for our customers there, and to encourage them to use it, to encourage them to share it with other subcontractors, other companies. We know that we need to integrate well with maybe their in-house commercial applications that they've been using, like I was saying, BIM 360 and Procore. So we have spent quite a bit of time making sure that you can do things like sync your reports to Procore, sync your reports to BIM 360 docs, sync your send your daily reports and all the attachments and videos and everything that comes into a work log, and send it to your Box folder, or send it to your Google Drive. And these things will happen automatically. Every day you can schedule when this can be done, and it's completely automatic. And we're adding new connections all the time, and we're trying to always looking for new and more meaningful ways to see how FlyPaper Daily could be used in its standalone form, but then just fit into other people's environments comfortably. This, we feel, will encourage people to use the tool and really enjoy the benefit that they get from using something that's so simple and easy to use, without having to maybe forego using this tool because it doesn't play with the rest of the stack that they have at the enterprise level. So that's some of the quick notes about kind of where we were coming from when we were making Daily, and some of the philosophies we've had surrounding making it. Before I get into the demo, I wanted to just show you these two videos from Zach Pung and Jason Mee, who, as I said, were kind enough to share their thoughts and kind of get rolling into that. So Zach Pung, really cool guy. I'm only smiling right now because he laughs a little bit about bugging Nick and I as he'll walk from the Hudson site project downtown Detroit over to our office to bug us about stuff. He's not kidding. He's not bugging us, but he's definitely taking advantage of our close proximity to the job site. And, that's one of the strategic moves we had in even being downtown, is because there was a lot of the testers for this platform and Daily were located on jobs right there downtown. So this kind of gave us real quick access to be able to work with people like that. So anyway, I rambled on enough about that. And here's Zach.
Superintendent in charge of a portion of the Hudson site. The Hudson job is located downtown Detroit. It's a high-rise building, around 70 stories. It's got a 2-story underground parking garage, and then there's also a 16-story steel structure that makes up the entire project as well. And it's about as downtown Detroit as you can get. And we've been using FlyPaper Dailies for about a year now. We were one of the first jobs, I think, at Art Mallow to really roll it out. Over the past year, we really haven't had a ton of activities on site other than ASON and kind of some deep foundation work. But coming back from the COVID shutdown, we're really starting to get ramped up here. And the app is used by our site foreman, our site superintendents. Right now, there's probably around 10 to 15, I'd say, on any given day of the week. And it's only going to ramp up from here. We've got around 75 trade guys on site. Dan and Nick have been great over the last year. I'd say that, when they rolled it out, like any new product, there was, room for improvements and, trying to figure out what we were looking for in the field from a daily reporting software. They've been great with hearing us out. They're pretty close to us down here, so we're lucky for that. If I don't get them on the phone, I'll just walk across the street and bug them. No, it's been pretty good. We like, to feel like, in the field that our voices are heard, because, the less time we spend doing dailies and the less time we're trying to organize stuff from the daily reporting tool, the better we can run the job site. So I think FlyPaper Dailies is on that track to being a great daily reporting tool. It does a little bit. We track manpower through it. How many guys on site, how long did they work, the ability to create tags so you can kind of separate out your crews. tracks weather for you, and then this just your description of kind of your daily, what did you do, anything you ran into, and yeah. So moving forward, with protest dailies, I'm excited to see where the act continues to go. A lot of potential, I'd say. It's good right now, but it's got a lot of potential to continue to improve. As long as they stay connected to the guys in the field, we'll help tell them, how you can improve the act more to make it even more efficient. So that's about all I have. Good.
Well, yeah, that was good, Zach. Thanks. So yeah, I'm glad everybody got a chance to hear what Zach had to say about it. He's certainly contributed some meaningful feedback to some of the features that are standard across all the jobs right now. So that time he spent kind of coming over to our office and talking to us has been really good. He's informed a lot of really good field experience onto us, and so we're appreciative of that. So next we got Jason Mead. Jason Mead, really cool guy. It was actually when he was recording this for me earlier in the week that I was reminded about the unique nature of his project. And I remembered onboarding him and sort of working with him and his team, kind of training them very quickly on how to get up and running, and then just fielding questions related to how can we track certain aspects of this job, because we have some unique requirements that other jobs don't have. So anyway, he's actually going to elaborate on that a little bit. So I'll go ahead and get that started.
Yeah, so this is, we've been using FlyPaper at the Memorial Stadium project downtown Charlotte, North Carolina here, and we have a unique situation here. So this is a county project where we are inserting ourselves into the neighborhood here, and we are have a minority participation partner. And what that does is we have a 20% participation in the minority. So everybody has to have a certain participating part per company and as a job as a whole. So with the tagging function with FlyPaper on this job, I'm able to track the minority participation, document the hours, and then pull the report at the end of the month, pass that to my management, and they can then send it to the partners so that they know exactly what our participation is every month. And it's been a great function. The reporting has been seamless. I love the fact that I can use it on my computer, on my iPhone, on my iPad, and you can see it happening in real time. So if I'm using my iPad, you could actually, and I go to my computer real quick because I need to do a certain function, I can see it in real time, which I love. I love the fact that with the new update, it's the picture function has been updated better. It's more seamless. I can add as many pictures from, if I use box capture, drop it into a file, I can add as many pictures under one tag as I want to. I can load 20 pictures from my computer, from box capture, and it'll just load it seamlessly on my desktop. And that's one function that I need, because sometimes the data that I'm crunching through is quite a bit at one time, so that I can get my data down, get it into the report, and move forward.
That was Jason Mead, everyone. Yeah, so he has a really interesting use case for the tagging functionality as he's explaining. And anyway, it was really good to hear from him. So at this point, I'm actually just going to move over into a demonstration and show everybody how easy it is to kind of get a project up and running. So what I've basically done is, let's see, there we go. Our easy to use Superintendent Daily Reporting tool. We make it really easy for you to switch between days in your project. So we have this date time switcher here that allows you to kind of pick what day in the week that you want to create a daily for or enter work logs for. This is especially useful in situations where maybe you're using FlyPaper Daily a couple weeks into a project that has already started. Maybe you're transferring a ledger of handwritten daily information and need to actually transfer that information and put it into our application. There can be any number of reasons why you would like the flexibility to switch between days, and so we do that, and we guarantee that we're going to pull the accurate weather information based on your project location from that particular day. So I'll switch here. Let's see. We're always keeping the weather sort of at the forefront, kind of giving you a forecast. Depending on what time of day that you begin looking and interacting with this tool, you'll see what the weather looks like for the rest of the day. So over here to the right, you have the download button. So one thing that's unique about our daily reporting tool is that you can download the daily at any part of the day. It'll just give you information that is up to that moment that you're generating the report. So I could just click here and say daily report because I already had some work logs and some simple crew information in our work log. That just generated on the fly. We'll come back and I'll explain what you're looking at here in a minute. So with the daily reporting tool of ours, you have work logs, you have the ability to fill out surveys every day, you have the ability to author notes that you can share inside of the actual report itself or only with your colleagues. You also have the ability to dump attachments to your daily. Here in the work log section, we group work logs by what company has authored them, because we understand that there could be different work logs for the same subcontractor, just different crews of that subcontractor doing different types of work. We accommodate that. Also, you might want to separate out. Your work logs by tags and use tags to help group that information together in the report. You heard Jason Mead and Zach Pung both speak about the tagging functionality quite a bit, and it's really proven itself to be useful. Creating a work log is pretty simple. In this project, I'm actually the project administrator. And I also have not invited any of the actual subcontractors themselves to my daily tool. So I'm presented with a list of all the companies that are working in this project, and it's going to make it easy for me to author a work log for them. So let me click here. So now I'm going to enter a work log. Did some work today. All right. That's pretty cool. We're able to leverage the tagging features here. You can add your own tags. Just added a new area D. You can even add attachments directly to the work log itself. So on top of being able to add attachments, and what do we mean by attachments? Attachments are videos, photos, audio recordings, PDF documents, and for virtually any type of common information that you would find out in the field that people might want to share with one another is the type of attachment data that you can add to a work log. And let's take a look and see what that looks like in the report now. So now we're a little more oriented to how work logs are laid out and some of the things that you can do with them. This is how our day is shaping up in the report. We have the weather report for the entire day. That's really cool. And now we start to see all the work logs, some totals related to the work logs as well up top. So total workers, 30. Total labor hours, a total of 177. And then we'll start to break things down in a more granular way. You'll see that there's FlyPaper Technologies is the company that has completed some work, and we'll see that there's crew size and labor hours in totals up top. But then we can start to see things by tag as well. So notice we were using, in this particular project, we were kind of using this scheme of using tags to break out which part of the project site that this particular crew is working in. So now we have totals for area A, and then the work logs for area A. Same with area B. We have the totals and what work logs were written within that tag. If attachments had been added to this report, those attachments would show up. Any notes or surveys that have been authored would also show up in these notes, or excuse me, in this report. So so let's take a look into the FlyPaper navigation. So up here in the top left, this is how you kind of move around the total platform. You have some options for tuning your personal profile. You have options for tuning which company you're in and even what project you're in here in the top portion of the navigation. Creating companies and switching between companies is very easy in this platform. And that's not necessarily because we believe that everyone's going to work for a whole bunch of companies, even though there are situations where that does kind of happen. We see that some larger companies oftentimes like to organize their projects under business units, and so this allows you to do that as well. So, for instance, maybe you work for a larger company that has a self-perform business unit, and maybe has a concrete business unit, or perhaps has an interiors business unit. Sometimes that company might want to organize things under various, companies that match up to those business units. So either way, whatever your use case is, you're able to easily switch between those companies. You can also very easily just create a new one if you want. Type in a name, click done. Same with companies as the project switching capability. Definitely more likely that you might be a part of multiple projects, or especially not only at the same time, but especially over time. You could find yourself jumping into a new project, maybe wrapping up an old one, or still maybe just wanting access to the information in that project. So you can, just as easily as you can switch between companies and create companies, you can do the same with projects. Because project switching frequency is so frequent in the course of, say, a year of using this tool, we have up here, we have another project switcher. It basically kicks off the same experience that you saw here. It's just up here where you actually see the name of the project you're currently in. You can just click on it and switch to. So we have our list of applications right now. There's daily. There's also some more advanced reporting capabilities where you can do company and multi-project reports, man-hour reports, things like this. So we have administration. You're seeing administration because I am not only the company admin of the FlyPaper Technologies company, but I'm also the project admin of this particular FlyPaper Summit 2020 project. If I was a subcontractor or someone who had no permissions, then it wouldn't have been seen. I wouldn't have seen any of the administrative options. That's just a kind of a footnote for those who are curious if subcontractors can see project admin settings. They cannot. So in project admin, you have some basic settings. You can configure your name and you can configure project code. We even understand the concepts of shifts. That work logs sometimes can be broken up by shifts. You can actually specify what your work days are. So these are days that we would actually expect work to be done on site. You can configure what surveys are actually going to be filled out by companies inside of this project. User management is very simple also. You can very easily just click and say add a company. We will present you a list of what companies that we have in our application. If we have never heard of them before, um, you can actually just click to create a new one right there. It'll be added to the list. And then from inside of that company, you're able to add users to that company. So this is where you get to make that choice. Do I want, even though I have to write superintendent dailies and I need to break down by subcontractor what crews have done what and what hours have been committed to that work. You might not want the subcontractors themselves to write that. So you don't have to actually invite them to the project to add their companies to the project. However, there are many, an increasing number, I should say, of projects that are expecting their subcontractors to fill out this information because of how easy the tool is to use. So they are beginning to click the add user button and actually type and invite that user. So you just enter their email address and click add user. And once you click save here at the end of your, once you're finished making your modifications, we'll actually send invitations out to them. They click on the link and they're able to just jump right in to the app. Just like with dailies, you're able to just blindly dump attachments to the daily itself, just broadly to the entire day. You can do the same thing with the FlyPaper project admin as well. Connections. This is one of a piece of the story that we've been continuing to work on and improve on, and that is how we send information to third-party applications. And the sending of information is sort of broken up into two subjects for us. There's the cloud storage piece and the cloud storage subject and the cloud push subject. Cloud storage is what I'll be able to talk to you guys about today. And cloud storage focuses on the retention of data that's generated every day in a daily report. So it's not uncommon to want to be notified every day that a daily report has been created and to present a link to you. And that is something that we definitely can do, and we do that out of the box. Everybody will get an email saying, hey, you have a daily to take a look at. But also you might want that PDF report, that same PDF report that you're going to get access to just be stored to one of your cloud, one of your cloud drives like Google Cloud Drive or Box. And then furthermore, you might actually want those attachments that are related to that work, to the work logs as well as the report and just the daily itself. You might also want those attachments to be sent to your Box folder. So you have the ability to do that, and you also have the ability to configure multiple locations for where you want that information to be sent every day. So we also support Autodesk BIM 360 Docs, Procore, as well as Google Drive as places where you can consistently on any working day of your project expect to see the final PDF report, as well as all final videos and images and any type of attachments being sent there. Well, everybody, that's kind of a quick jump into FlyPaper Daily and the FlyPaper platform. And make sure if you have any questions to post them in the GoToWebinar questions and answers section, and I'll be sure to answer them at the end of the presentation. All right. So kind of moving away from the demo. So let's talk about the roadmap. Obviously, we're still working out kinks and various things, and we continue to do that. But we've been aggressively working with our team at Encircle to address any critical issues that we have, as well as bring up some critical features that are really necessary to really productize this application. So we know that we still have a lot of work to do, but we have strategically kind of broken up our course of action, just like a good engineering company, into milestones and sprints, and Circle works with us every single day, like Nick was highlighting in the keynote, um, to bring this application to the public. And so right now we are going to be bringing this public in November. We're super excited about that because basically that's going to be a couple of years worth of work to get it ready. And of course, readiness means good presentation materials and documentation and all that stuff. And we understand that. So definitely a lot of work being done in this area to get us ready for November. Also, right now we don't yet support Android devices, and that's really not for any reason other than we just haven't quite gotten there yet. We do actually on simulators support Android, so we're very close. So really now at this point, it's really more about getting it ready for the Google Play market. Also on the roadmap is a desktop version for Mac OS and Windows. So what we find is there's just, like we were talking about, like I was highlighting earlier, I guess, is, there's a lot of people that are less technical. There's a lot of people that have become very comfortable with their particular device that they do the most with. Like I said, there are people that run their jobs completely on iPhone. And that's because maybe they never got in on the computer. Maybe they just really didn't see the how valid it was, or it wasn't relevant to them. But the mobile phone did make sense to them. Mobile phone made sense, so they started using it, and that's how they do things. And that story is the same with any one of the different platforms or devices that an application can run on. You have some people that are more comfortable with web. We have some people that are really accustomed to the desktop. They're very accustomed to that look and feel that comes with it, the notifications popping up in the top right corner as part of system tray notifications and things like that if you're on Windows. And we have a platform that is capable of doing it. We're in the process of working to get things packaged so that we can actually distribute the application and have it run natively on Mac OS and Windows. So those are some things that we're very excited about as we continue to prepare the application for prime time. And I hope you guys are too. I think now I'm sure we have a couple questions. I'm gonna see if Andrew has been able to grab any from the Q&A portion of the webinar, and I'm able to answer them.
Yeah, hey there. And yeah, for anyone listening, you can feel free to drop any questions that pop up as we go through this in the question section built right into GoToWebinar. But yeah, I already got a couple that have already been asked. So first question would be, how is this different than other existing Superintendent Daily applications?
I'd say one of the biggest things is the open communication and the collaborative aspect of it. The fact that people are able to see and have some purview into what's going on throughout the day has been a big step. And like I said, there was some trepidation by people in the beginning when Nick and I started talking like this. But like Nick and I were speaking about recently, we haven't heard a single customer complain about it since. In fact, we've only heard thumbs up when it comes to that. Because of this open collaboration, this open transparency, we were able to do away with a few concepts that other reporting tools have had, such as a report can't be seen until the end of the day. This is pretty common across daily reporting tools, and we just felt like, well, if everything's open and everybody has visibility into what the other is doing, everybody should be able to generate a report and see how things are looking throughout a day, send midday reports if they like. It's just that freedom and flexibility. The final point is we've really pushed hard on our ability to have a common interface across the device types that we support. So yes, even though I did a demo with the web version today, that is very, very close to that is nearly identical to what the iPad version looks like, for instance. And on a tablet of any kind, that experience would be extremely similar, minus those little things that just make it better, more appropriately integrated with that type of device. So those are some very compelling points.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. And then another question we had pop up is it possible to get into the private beta before November?
I had a feeling someone would ask that. No, it's not. we're wrapping up some internal things that need to be resolved to make that possible. And really, just with the amount of work that we need to do between now and November, it just wouldn't be quite right. Plus, with the sort of the onboarding and things like that would come, it might take away from the work that we have to do. So it's really all about, for us, just being extremely focused on having things ready by November. But one thing I would encourage people to do is, if you want to sort of kind of be on the list, so to speak, to be reached out to, by someone like yourself, Andrew. If people want to send emails to info@flypaper.com, they could easily say, "Hey, when FlyPaper Daily is ready, please let me know. I'm super interested. When you have some new application on this platform you've made, please let us know." So by all means, please send us any questions you have to info@flypaper.com. Let us know that you're eager to maybe have a demonstration of this product at your company conducted. We would totally be eager for that.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, and we would definitely reach out to anyone who shot those over. So, okay. Then another question we just had pop up is, I mean, you touched on this one a little bit before, but where are you getting the weather data from?
Yes. Actually, and I just thought of so the weather data. The weather data is being pulled from Dark Sky. It's very popular, top tier weather API that we're able to access. And so we've been actually pulling our data from Dark Sky since the beginning. One thing I wanted to add to regarding the question of what is kind of a differentiator between us, it just completely slipped my mind. Probably, and it shouldn't have, because it's probably one of the biggest things. Aside from everything else I said, the open collaboration, all that stuff, our ability to sort of play well with other third-party applications is huge. I'd say that is a big differentiator. I do not know of such focus given to that area in any of the tools that we've done any comparative or competitive analysis of. So this is something that we take very seriously, our ability to send information to the different third-party applications and sort of just make it easy for you to sort of just bring daily into your flow without it complicating things. Complicating things from a technical standpoint, complicating things from processes that you have at your organization that won't let you use something because it won't send the data to Procore, or won't let you send that data to Bin 360. These are things that are not a problem with our stack, and we're going to continue to add different connections as customers demand. So.
Awesome. Yeah, and if anyone else thinks of any other questions, we're right after this we have a fireside chat coming up where you guys can directly ask, and they can Dan any questions you guys have. But that's all of the questions we have for this session.